Man, f you.
Man, you.
I'm a you. Bitch,
I'm a
yeah.
you, man.
I'm gonna shove my down your throat, huh?
Oh yeah.
Ooh, don't try me.
I love it. Oh,
Bet you do.
oh yeah.
Call me daddy from now on.
Oh yeah, daddy.
Yeah. That's what
Oh,
daddy likes to
wow.
hear.
What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and it's safe to say, because things are so quiet for Call of Duty right now, that things are probably going to get hectic in the next week or two as we start getting marketing for Treyarch's new Warzone map, DLC 2 for zombies, and then of course the main Easter egg for the Outbreak Zombies mode. But right now we're just relaxing, enjoying the game, waiting for any marketing on a potential Season 2 Reloaded. But tonight, we have some updates on Treyarch's new Warzone map, some teasers and gifts that influencers are receiving, along with a potential hint about Call of Duty 2021. Definitely stay tuned. Now, in last night's video, we had quite a bit to go through from the 20 plus locations that might be featured in the supposed 250 player Treyarch Warzone map. It was a massive video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, but if you haven't seen it yet, the video will of course be linked down below. Now, I also want to remind you guys that the first episode of my podcast does go live this Friday. It'll be streamed here on my channel, and I'll announce a time more specifically on Thursday along with the first set of topics. But if there's any topics you want me to address as soon as this Friday, drop them down below in the comments. But here's the intro for the Bombcast. Before we jump into the news, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and be sure to use code DYNAMITE if you want to save 10% on any Control Freak orders. Their link is, of course, down below in the description. Starting off with the brand new St. Patrick's Lucky Tracer Pack. It went live earlier today for 1,800 COD points, and of course comes with a Shalala LMG, the M60, the Wheelad Assault Rifle for the FFAR, both of which shoot green and orange tracer rounds, and they fire gold dismemberment effects upon killing enemies. We have the Pot of Gold Charm, the Battle for the Riches calling card, and lastly the Lucky Frag stickers. So, like I said before, I wouldn't really recommend getting too many holiday-themed bundles since I don't see myself using any of these skins past the week of the holiday itself, and tomorrow is, of course, St. Patrick's Day. But with that, we still have the St. Patrick's Stockpile mode live in Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. Once St. Patrick's LTM goes away, regular Stockpile will remain in Black Ops Cold War multiplayer for who knows how long, but luckily Stockpile is a great mode, really recommend trying it out. And we also have the other St. Patrick's bundle, which wasn't really worth it, at least in my opinion. We have the Shamrock Pack for 1,100 COD points. Doesn't come with anything special, but if you're feeling that St. Patrick's spirit, maybe you guys will consider this. But we then got a statement earlier today from Activision talking about how upcoming seasons of Warzone will bring new content that Call of Duty has never seen before. They also mentioned that the 80s theme of Black Ops Cold War offers a ton of opportunities for future content to come. So what I want to know from you guys, especially if you're old schoolers, is what from the 80s could be a good idea for future content, right? I know for a fact when it comes to Treyarch's Euro Mountains Warzone map, that'll be set in the 80s, just like the campaign of Black Ops Cold War. So with that, that's probably what Activision is referring to about having some 80s nostalgia incorporated into a Warzone experience. But besides that, the only ideas I could think of for content that could make Warzone so much better is maybe seeing Destiny-like raids, big events, big-scale zombies boss fights, or even a big Easter egg that requires everyone in the lobby to solve, right? You can have everybody be on the same team and kind of work together for an unlimited amount of time trying to solve a quest, right? On a massive scaled map like Verdansk or the Euro Mountains map. That would be insane to see, because the Easter eggs we've had so far in Warzone, whether it's Verdansk or Rebirth, have been pretty cool. However, they're not really friendly for Battle Royale experiences, right? You're trying to solve something or pick something up or look at a computer, get a combination, and you have enemies that are also killing you at the same time. So they've been pretty well thought out Easter eggs in terms of the steps, but being in a Battle Royale makes them a bit difficult. So I'd like to see more quests like that with worthwhile rewards, but also in a fashion where it's not frustrating or infuriating to try to even solve things when you have enemies trying to troll you at the same time. So I think they're off to a good start with making this Battle Royale unique. As I've said before about Warzone, I do like the gameplay and engine of it. The gunplay is fun. I think I have more fun on Warzone when it comes to Rebirth, but with Verdansk, the map is a little too big for my liking and promotes way too much camping. But I understand Treyarch's next map is set to be much bigger than Verdansk, so that may or may not work depending on if you like the layouts of all the fireteam experiences. But one thing I'll say to get your opinion now is I'm not a huge fan of the loadout system in Warzone either. I've talked about this before. The skill gap almost feels like it's not there most of the time, simply because instead of finding what you can find and getting good with that off the ground, you're just working towards getting a loadout and using the same weapon that everybody else is using, right? Instead of, getting good with what you got, you just work towards a loadout and then it's one big multiplayer match with the same loadout that your favorite YouTuber told you to use. That's how Warzone feels half the time. So it gets frustrating. Let's see how it works out in the next Warzone experience, but that's just my take on it. You can respectfully disagree down below in the comments, but Activision also confirmed that they don't view Fortnite as a competitor, and I found that real ironic considering neither Blackout or Warzone would exist if Fortnite hadn't been as popular as it is now. But they said, and I quote, "Only Warzone could do the zombies the way we do them." And what a roast, right? But they only did zombies in the Zombies Royale mode for the Halloween event, and now with the Outbreak in Verdansk. So I'm curious what that's really referring to. Maybe it's a hint for zombies having a permanent role in the next Warzone map, the Treyarch Hero Mountains. And I wouldn't be surprised to see permanent mystery boxes, boss fights, wonder weapons in the next Warzone experience. And let's take what Blackout started and bring it to a level that we never thought was possible. Blackout ran so that Warzone could fly, literally. Blackout was the start of so many cool ideas that I want to see Call of Duty double down on, right? With more budget, next-gen hardware, let's wait and see what happens. But, we have the really interesting elemental zombies with the Outbreak in Verdansk right now. We saw a few of them over at the shipwreck. Now we have much more at the prison. You'll see this in the gameplay, right? I had blue-eyed zombies, red-eyed zombies, even green-eyed zombies that do different effects. You have EMP effects, gas explosions, different surges of energy. So I'm curious if that's a hint for zombies we'll see in the next Treyarch map, the Warzone Euro Mountains, or if that's a hint for newer zombies we'll see in maybe DLC 2 and beyond for Black Ops Cold War zombies. Very curious about that, but that could be a hint for something. That's what I'll leave it at. Now, Activision also teased the fact that we could see support for Black Ops Cold War for many years to come, and Modern Warfare still has a strong player base, don't get me wrong, so seeing updates like Season 7 wouldn't shock me, and I think that's probably going to release when the next Treyarch map drops, the Warzone Euro Mountains. That'll probably be one last big hoorah, one last big content drop for Modern Warfare that contains soap, the DLC weapons, the multiplayer maps that have been on hold. That's very likely, right? And even past that, we could still see more added to that game. That wouldn't shock me whatsoever, but they said, and I quote, "If you're asking if we'll play Cold War for 4 years, possibly, if it made sense for us. The player base supported it and viewership supported it, but could there be a world where we stick with a title for multiple years? We're not sold on any specific strategy there." So everybody out there has probably been speculating or hoping for a game that is just called Call of Duty that gets updated for years on end, right? Almost like a subscription service in a way, almost like a Call of Duty mobile where they kind of just have every developer add content to it with a multitude of updates from, Treyarch characters, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, etc. I wouldn't mind if the yearly cycle got put on hold for a little while. At least have it to where maybe you update 2 to 3 Call of Duties all at the same time for many years, and then you give the cycle a rest. Give developers time to kind of, sit back, gain more staff, and then work on a game that is much more ambitious, that requires maybe 3 to 5 years of development. That would be real smart for the franchise to kind of rejuvenate things, but I'm not sure if Activision is interested in doing that for at least a while now. And the bundles are making money. They're doing well when it comes to their finances, so they wouldn't get hurt by stopping that Call of Duty yearly cycle, but I'm sure they would take a hit. They wouldn't please investors, but I would say that could pay off at the end of the day, right? If you wait 3+ years to release a new Call of Duty, imagine the anticipation for that game after so long of waiting, with the marketing, with, the new players entering in. I think that could really pay off in a way the franchise has never seen before. But we also have an update from Call of Duty partners and influencers who received hospital scrubs earlier today, which say Verdansk General on them, a very clear indicator that zombies are coming to the hospital next in this Verdansk outbreak. And if you're not convinced that zombies are coming to the hospital, let me remind you that before Season 2 started of Black Ops Cold War, there was a glitch in the Warzone Rumble mode that showed a zombies trial machine at both the hospital and the stadium. So if I had to guess, the next few weeks we'll probably see influencers receiving some sports jerseys to tease that, yeah, zombies are coming to the stadium next. So it's unclear if they're going to keep this trend up where they move zombies from one spot to another, or where they start spreading the outbreak a little bit where you see zombies at multiple locations at once. I'm sure Verdansk could handle that, right? So we have an outbreak at, the prison, and then the hospital, then the stadium, all at a single moment in time. But it might just do it slowly where it's one location, then another, very slowly. But I'm like, how is the number supposed to increase on the trial machine? And right now it's at 5%. I want to see it at 15%, 15-20% by next week. Is that even possible? I mean, what do they have to do to make that happen? I'm just not sure. But last and definitely not least, we have a very interesting teaser which could be for Call of Duty 2021. It was found over on Ruka for the Outbreak Zombies mode, and it's a letter that is dated for March 15th, 1944, coming from Berlin, and it reads, "I have taken your renewed request seriously, but it hurts me to repeat myself, Commander. The bodies of the deceased soldiers, regardless of their position and condition, must be transported immediately to Middelburg, Bavaria." Obviously, this isn't a teaser for Berlin DLC 2 for Black Ops Cold War, since Cold War takes place in the 80s, but what is in Middelburg, the final Reich from World War II zombies? So is this a hint for the next Zombies experience in Sledgehammer's next Call of Duty? Or is this maybe hinting that we're going to cross over the universes of not only Black Ops and Modern Warfare, but also the world of World War II? So the rumors of the next game suggest that it takes place in the World War II era again, but then there's some other rumors saying that it takes place in the 50s, near the Korean War, the Vietnam War again. So this could be an alternate reality where the Allies didn't win, and that sounds interesting. I think it's definitely a different take on a game where it's not based on actual history, so that could make for some cool storytelling. But in terms of the connection to zombies, that gets me interested, right? How could they tie in what's going on in Black Ops Cold War and Modern Warfare with that World War II era game? I just don't know how that could work, and I would say at this point things are getting really messy with the timeline. But let me remind you that that letter that was found over in Ruka may just be a reused asset that has been seen in several other locations, right? That letter has been seen in multiple locations in the same building over in Ruka, so it could just be a reused asset, but it was also found in the campaign of World War II as well. So the fact that it was in the campaign of that game obviously solidifies that the campaign of World War II and the Final Reich are connected, no doubt about it. But how could they connect that to what's going on with Treyarch's game? I just don't see how that could work, and at this point the timeline is up in there because of Warzone. Warzone has really kind of taken away the continuity that makes sense for campaign, multiplayer zombies. If they can maybe release a timeline explaining all of this, I would love that. But as of right now, I almost look at Warzone as not canon to anything. I look at the continuity of a campaign to a multiplayer to a zombies for each individual Call of Duty. Warzone bridging the gap doesn't make much sense to me at all, considering you have 2020 operators messing with 1980s operators in Verdansk, and then you're maybe going to have Task Force 141 also in the 1980s Zero Mountains map. I don't know how that's going to work at all, but reminds me of the Richtofen Matryoshka doll, which was found in the multiplayer map Moscow, and that was found during the Black Ops Cold War beta, during weekend 1 at least, and during weekend 2 they removed it because that also didn't make much sense to have. I mean, it was a cool Easter egg, right? They could have made it work, but I guess somebody higher up at Treyarch realized that that isn't just any ordinary reused asset. Let's get that out of Moscow, since that holds some deep meaning to it from the old Ether era. So let's just see what happens, right? A crossover between all Call of Duty games going forward. I mean, if you want to do that for fun in COD Mobile, then sure, but when you have Black Ops Cold War and Modern Warfare with very clear canons and very clear continuities, I don't know how you can just throw in Sledgehammer's next game into that. But if they make it work, I'll be cool with it. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments section. What are your thoughts on the teasers for Treyarch's new Warzone experience, Activision's statement about zombies, and even the potential teaser for Call of Duty 2021? That is about it. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everyone.